Welcome to the Urban Herald. This is your guide, really, to navigating the complexities and curiosities of our world.
That's right. We don't just skim the surface here.
Exactly. We delve deep. We try to bring you fresh perspectives on culture, lifestyle, global trends. Basically, things that shape our lives, whether they're urban or sometimes a bit wilder.
And as part of the Urban Herald team, we're particularly excited about today's deep dive.
Oh, definitely. We're exploring something that really challenges the usual map. It's titled Destinations Your Mother Wouldn't Approve of.
It sounds provocative, doesn't it?
It does. And look, this isn't about your typical postcard perfect holidays. Not at all.
No, this is a proper look at risky, controversial, sometimes profoundly unconventional travel spots. Places that really make you rethink what being a tourist even means.
Our mission, like always, is to offer you insights, maybe some transformative ideas that, stick with you after you listen.
And we know your time is valuable. You want knowledge quickly, but you also want it thoroughly.
Right. Maybe a few aha moments sprinkled in.
Mm-hmm.
So we've curated this discussion, pulled out the most compelling bits from our recent comprehensive guide on this.
Exactly. Our commitment at the Urban Herald is always to deliver news, features, thoughtful analysis, stuff that helps you understand the nuances.
Yeah.
Culture, global shifts, the human condition itself.
And this topic, these destinations that push boundaries, it fits perfectly.
It really does. It invites us to look beyond the obvious, maybe embrace the extraordinary, find meaning where others might just see danger or weirdness.
Absolutely. So let's start unpacking this. It's a pretty remarkable phenomenon, isn't it? We've definitely seen a big cultural shift happening.
Mm-hmm.
Those ubiquitous Instagram-perfect beaches, the all-inclusive resorts. They're still popular, of course, but there's this growing movement towards what our article calls alternative travel destinations for 2025.
Yeah, something different is drawing people in.
It's not just chasing an adrenaline rush, though I'm sure that's part of it for some. It seems more about a hunger for, authentic experiences.
Transformative ones offer.
Exactly. Journeys that sometimes make us confront uncomfortable truths about the world, about ourselves even.
Right.
So the core question our feature tackles is really, what is it? What draws millions of travelers to these controversial tourist spots? Places that, let's be honest, traditional holidaymakers might find, horrifying.
It's a fascinating question, and the answer seems to tap into some complex psychology.
Mm-hmm.
Our research, especially looking at things like conflict zone tourism, suggests people are increasingly after genuine, unmediated experiences. They want an emotional intensity, maybe a challenge to their worldview that you just don't get from, curated perfection.
The standard package holiday doesn't really offer that, does it?
Not in the same way. It's often less about superficial bragging rights. I've been here, I've been there, and more about, deeper human needs, confronting mortality, maybe, understanding tragedy on a more intimate level.
Processing history in a way a book can't convey.
Precisely. I remember talking to this traveler. She'd just come back from Mogadishu in Somalia.
Wow. Okay. And her eyes just, they shone. She talked about the warmth, the humor, the incredible resilience she saw in the people there.
Things you wouldn't expect from the headlines.
Not at all. And she stressed these were experiences raw, human, totally impossible to replicate in some sanitized resort.
I can imagine.
And the psychological rewards, they can be huge. Increased empathy is a big one. A much greater appreciation for your own safety, your freedom.
Perspective, right.
A powerful sense of having witnessed something significant. Many people say these trips to perceive dangerous places fundamentally shifted their outlook, their priorities, even how they see their own problems back home. It gives you a new baseline for gratitude, for connection.
That's incredibly powerful. And it brings us right up against that initial fear, doesn't it? What we're calling the mother's perspective, maybe.
Apprehension, yeah.
Because for many people, the first thought is, understandably, about the risks. Physical danger, radiation, political instability.
Cultural misunderstandings, lack of good hospitals.
Yeah.
All very real concerns. It's a natural protective instinct, a valid starting point for anyone even thinking about these kinds of trips.
And that raises the key point. How do you square that understandable fear with the reality of modern adventurous travel?
Because it is different now, isn't it?
It really is. The revelation, I think, is that many of these supposedly risky places are actually becoming increasingly well regulated.
You mean there are proper safety measures?
Absolutely. We're seeing professional operators using incredibly strict safety protocols, really comprehensive data-driven risk assessments.
So it's not just wandering into the unknown.
Not if you do it right. The truth is, many of these spots are accessible now because conflicts have ended, or robust safety measures have been put in place, or experienced tour operators have developed really reliable ways to manage the inherent risks.
So it's more nuanced than just danger zone.
Much more. It's about moving beyond those blanket warnings to a more informed understanding of calculated risk.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Now we've got a sense of the why, that deep human pull towards these challenging places. Let's dive into the actual categories. Starting with, well, probably the most iconic and maybe the most fear-inducing one for many.
Nuclear tourism.
Exactly. Section A, nuclear tourism and radioactive destinations. And when you say nuclear tourism, one name just jumps out, doesn't it? Chernobyl, Ukraine.
It's the archetype.
For a lot of people, the image is just apocalyptic. And the immediate fear is, will the radiation turn me into a glowing mutant?
Which is, let's be fair, a dramatic overstatement.
Right, but the concern isn't totally baseless. Chernobyl is the iconic example. After that catastrophic 1986 disaster, it created the exclusion zone, and official data showed, 95% of Ukraine got some level of contamination.
It's a stark, silent reminder of human error on an almost unimaginable scale.
Yet, despite that haunting image, Chernobyl tourism has just exploded in the last decade or so.
It really has. And the appeal for the, I'd say curious seeker rather than just thrill seeker,
Good distinction.
is to witness nature's incredible recovery. It's almost defiant, reclaiming the space. And you see that right alongside humanity's technological hubris, just frozen in time. It's a powerful lesson.
So what's it actually like? Pripyat, the abandoned city.
It's profoundly striking. You walk through these silent, tree-lined streets. It was a modern city built for the plant workers, and you see this eerie normalcy of lives just instantly abandoned, children's toys scattered in kindergartens, textbooks left open on school desks. You can see personal belongings through the decaying windows of apartment blocks.
Wow.
And the silence. It's overwhelming, sometimes broken only by the click of a Geiger counter, that constant reminder of the invisible danger, or maybe just the wind.
It sounds incredibly melancholic.
Yeah.
A glimpse into a post-apocalyptic world.
It is, both alien and deeply human. But here's the crucial part. Modern Chernobyl tours, through licensed operators, are surprisingly safe. Well, visitors get radiation monitoring equipment. They follow extremely strict rules. Stay right with the guides, absolutely no touching anything, wear the right clothes, long sleeves, closed-toe shoes.
And the actual radiation dose.
That's the key comparison. A typical day tour exposes you to somewhere between 130 and 2,610 microsieverts.
Which sounds like a lot, but what does it mean?
It's actually comparable to a long-haul international flight or a standard medical X-ray.
Really?
Yeah, and consider this. The average person gets around 3,000 microsieverts per year just from natural background radiation, cosmic rays, food, the ground.
Okay, that genuinely puts it into perspective. It makes it feel less abstractly terrifying.
Exactly. It's a quantifiable, manageable risk within the tour structure.
So for anyone thinking about this kind of profound journey, the essential safety tips are really non-negotiable.
Absolutely paramount.
Only book with licensed operators. Proper gear, experienced guides.
Wear long sleeves, close shoes, maybe older clothes you don't mind getting dusty or can wash thoroughly.
Follow the guide's instructions religiously. Stay in the designated areas.
Pass through the radiation detectors when you enter and leave.
And definitely no eating or drinking inside the zone. Right. To avoid ingesting anything.
Correct. You're visiting a historical site, a memorial even, not collecting radioactive souvenirs.
Good point. Okay, moving from Ukraine, Fukushima in Japan. Another major nuclear incident, but at some context, right? How does it compare?
Fukushima offers a really different lens on nuclear disaster recovery. After the 2011 tsunami and meltdown, parts are still restricted, obviously. But some areas have been meticulously decontaminated and reopened, mainly for guided tours.
So it's not the same kind of ghost town vibe as Pripyat.
Not exactly. Chernobyl has that visible Soviet-era decay. Fukushima shows you how modern Japan, with its advanced technology and frankly deep cultural resilience, handles recovery. It's like a living laboratory for decontamination.
A nation reclaiming its land.
Precisely. You see the intersection of ancient culture with very modern crisis management. The tours are limited, highly controlled, focused on reconstruction efforts, memorial sites, and crucially, education about nuclear safety.
So less about abandonment, more about the process of healing and rebuilding.
Exactly. It's about understanding that methodical, deeply cultural process.
And then, closer to home for many of our listeners, Hanford Nuclear Reservation in the U.S. Washington state,
Right. America's most contaminated nuclear site, technically.
which might make people think, why on earth would I visit? But it's now offering public tours. It was a key part of the Manhattan Project.
Absolutely critical. It produced the plutonium for, what, over 20 nuclear weapons during the Cold War? It's a huge piece of world history.
So what can visitors see?
You can explore the B reactor, the world's first full-scale plutonium production reactor, a monumental piece of wartime science. And you learn about Hanford itself, the secret city that sprang up almost overnight to support the effort that helped end World War II.
So it's historical tourism with a very unique and perhaps controversial legacy.
Definitely a powerful site, even with the ongoing environmental cleanup story.
Okay, next category. Let's shift to what we're calling geopolitically volatile destinations. Regions with, significant political instability, ongoing conflicts, or maybe highly controlled societies, yet they still draw travelers.
The paradox is intriguing.
North Korea is maybe the prime example here. The immediate fear, the mother's perspective, is pretty much you'll vanish into a political prison.
It's the ultimate in controlled tourism, isn't it? A deeply secretive society, strict government supervision.
And those sporadic openings to tourism can change on a dime, right? Depending on geopolitics.
Absolutely. But the appeal for some adventurous travelers is undeniable. It's that desire for a truly unparalleled experience.
An unfiltered glimpse, maybe, even if it's managed.
Exactly. A glimpse into a society operating on radically different principles. You can see the mass games, these huge spectacles, the propaganda sites. It feels like stepping into another reality.
Frozen in the 1950s, some say.
In many ways, yes. It's about experiencing a completely different model of societal organization. But, and it's a huge but, tourism there is incredibly regulated. Safety through absolute control.
So, official tours only. Guides breathing down your neck.
Pretty much. Official pre-approved tours. Omnipresent government guides. Visits are to specific monuments, museums, model schools, cultural sites. Photography is strictly controlled. What you can shoot, what you can't.
And interacting with locals.
Limited. And always supervised. Spontaneity is not really part of the package.
So the safety tips for North Korea are incredibly specific and strict.
Non-negotiable. Only use sanctioned operators known for following the rules to the letter.
Respect all restrictions, especially on photos. Follow every instruction.
Avoid any political talk or criticism. The consequences can be severe.
Carry your documents always. Passport, visa.
And crucially, be mentally prepared for sudden policy changes. Access could be revoked, departure delayed. You need absolute commitment to following their rules.
Okay. Shifting regions. Afghanistan, another challenging one.
Historically the graveyard of empires, and it remains incredibly challenging. Significant security concerns, very limited tourist infrastructure.
But people still go.
A very small number of highly experienced, intrepid travelers do, usually through specialized operators focusing on deep cultural exchange, sometimes humanitarian work.
What's the draw, given the risks?
The unparalleled cultural experiences, millennia of history, ancient Silk Road cities, that profound Afghan hospitality that somehow persists.
And the landscapes.
Stunning, often overlooked. The Hindu Kush Mountains, ancient Buddhist sites, whispers of a bygone era few ever see, but again, only for the highly experienced, with operators who have deep local ties and proven security track records.
What do those trips typically involve?
Visits to carefully chosen cultural sites, meeting local communities involved in recovery, gaining a nuanced understanding of the complex history and current reality. It's profound historical immersion, not casual tourism.
And then Somalia, where the headlines often scream pirates.
Right. And much of central and southern Somalia is extremely dangerous, largely off-limits.
But our feature highlights Somaliland.
Exactly. The autonomous region of Somaliland. Remarkably, it's developed a growing, albeit small, tourism sector. It offers insights into African resilience, post-conflict recovery, a unique cultural mix.
So the appeal there is different.
It's about witnessing nation-building, post-conflict recovery in action, experiencing nomadic culture, seeing landscapes untouched by mass tourism. It's a different narrative, one of strength and hope compared to the usual headlines.
Okay, moving on to our next category, post-conflict recovery zones. And Colombia is such a striking example here.
A truly remarkable transformation.
The old fear, drug cartels will kidnap you, still echoes for some, maybe. But Colombia has gone from being synonymous with war and drug violence to this vibrant, emerging tourism hotspot.
It's one of the most dramatic turnarounds in modern travel, a real testament to peace efforts.
And it shows how peace can just unlock incredible potential, right?
Absolutely. Areas once totally controlled by FARC guerrillas or cartels are now becoming some of South America's most exciting off-the-beaten-path destinations.
Places people couldn't go before.
Exactly. The real opportunity for travelers now is to explore pristine landscapes, rich culture that was previously inaccessible due to violence, and importantly, you're directly supporting communities rebuilding their lives through tourism.
Our article mentions places like Mesetas, Caño Cristales.
Right. Experiences impossible just a decade ago. The transformation is tangible. You have former FARC camps turned into eco-lodges.
Seriously?
Yes. And perhaps most powerfully, you have ex-combatants working as tour guides, sharing not just the beauty of the land, but their personal stories of redemption.
That's incredible. Talk about authentic experiences.
It really is. Modern Colombian tourism is focusing heavily on eco-adventures, cultural immersion, historical education, restored national parks, community-led tours, conservation flourishing in former militarized zones. It's steeped in hope.
But safety is still a consideration, obviously.
Of course. Essential safety tips. Avoid border regions with Venezuela, Ecuador, Panama. They can still be volatile. Stay away from known coca cultivation areas.
Use reputable operators. That seems key everywhere.
Crucial. Operators with deep local knowledge and safety protocols. Be vigilant about petty crime in big cities, like anywhere. Avoid isolated areas, especially after dark. It requires a thoughtful, prepared approach.
And Rwanda, an equally remarkable recovery story.
One of Africa's most profound transformations, from the horrific genocide just a generation ago.
The fear of, isn't that where the genocide happened?
Understandable. But Rwanda is now one of Africa's safest, cleanest, most progressive nations. What captivates visitors is this meaningful combination. The profound historical education at the genocide memorials.
Which must be incredibly moving.
Deeply. And then alongside that, world-class wildlife experiences, especially the mountain gorillas in Volcanoes National Park.
So it's dark tourism meeting incredible natural beauty.
Exactly. That blend creates deeply meaningful, often life-altering travel. Rwanda has excellent infrastructure now, renowned for safety, cleanliness, progressive conservation policies, a powerful example of resilience.
In Bosnia and Herzegovina, another place shaped by recent conflict.
The fear there might be landmines and ethnic tensions.
Right. The scars from the 90s conflicts in former Yugoslavia are definitely still visible. The politics complex.
But it's emerged as this fascinating destination. It combines elements of dark tourism, Sarajevo's war tunnels, bullet-scarred buildings right next to beautiful Ottoman or Austro-Hungarian architecture with stunning natural beauty and a rich, layered culture.
You see the resilience firsthand.
You really do. Communities actively rebuilding. It's a narrative of recovery, reconciliation, the enduring human spirit. It invites you to contemplate history while embracing a vibrant present.
Okay, let's switch gears dramatically. Extreme adventure sports destinations, where the line between exhilarating and, frankly, terrifying gets very blurry.
Where limits are shattered, not just tested.
Mount Everest, Nepal. The ultimate example, maybe. The fear here is almost literal. You'll die in a traffic jam at 29,000 feet.
And tragically, that's not entirely hyperbole. It is the pinnacle of extreme adventure. Altitude, weather, human ambition. It's an unforgiving mix.
And recent years have seen more deaths, right? Overcrowding inexperienced climbers.
It's a stark reminder of the inherent risks, which raises the question, why are people drawn to such potentially fatal risks?
Good question.
The answer, despite the dangers, is that Everest still pulls in this elite group seeking the ultimate mountaineering achievement. The physical and mental challenge is immense thin air, brutal cold, exhaustion, the sheer mental fortitude needed.
It's about personal transformation through pushing limits.
To the absolute breaking point, for many, discovering what lies beyond. But, and this is critical, a safe approach demands extensive preparation. Years, not weeks.
Experienced guides are key too, I assume.
Absolutely. People who know the mountain intimately. And rigorous, proper acclimatization, respecting the body's limits. Successful climbers often spend years on other demanding peaks before even thinking about Everest. It's mastery, not a whim.
Okay, another extreme example. Angel Falls base jumping in Venezuela.
The reaction is almost comical. You're jumping off the world's highest waterfall with a parachute.
It does sound insane.
But the appeal is undeniable for some. It's one of the world's most spectacular base jumps. Combines extreme sport with visiting a very remote and, yes, politically unstable region.
That free fall, 979 meters.
Alongside the cliff face of the world's highest uninterrupted waterfall, unmatched adrenaline in one of Earth's most dramatic environments, demands absolute skill and profound respect for nature's power.
And for underwater extremes, cave diving in Mexico's Yucatan cenotes.
The fear. You'll get lost underwater in a flooded cave, and it's a very real risk.
These cenotes, the sinkholes, they form huge underwater networks.
Kilometers of intricate caverns beneath the jungle, a labyrinth. It's some of the world's most technically demanding cave diving.
So why do it? What's the appeal?
The unique underwater world. It's like nowhere else. You glide through crystal clear fresh water, shafts of light from above, stunning limestone formations, ancient stalactites, stalagmites.
Breathtakingly beautiful, but incredibly challenging.
Exactly. Pushes divers to their absolute limits, technically and mentally.
All right, let's turn now to dark tourism destinations. Places that make us confront humanity's darkest chapters. Tragedy, suffering.
Sites that carry immense weight.
And the big question, the common apprehension, is often just, why? Why would you want to see such horrible places?
It's a valid question. Our article defines these as sites of tragedy, death, suffering that attract millions each year. People are seeking understanding, commemoration, ensuring things aren't forgotten.
But it raises complex ethical questions, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Commodifying tragedy versus education and memorializing.
It's a very fine line, a delicate balance. The key seems to be the profound emotional and psychological impact these sites have.
Like Auschwitz-Birkenau in Poland.
Exactly. The emotional weight of walking through those preserved camps, the barracks, gas chambers, the piles of shoes, glasses. It's overwhelming.
You can't capture that from a documentary.
Not even close. Visitors often feel crushed by the scale of suffering, but also this deep responsibility to remember, to learn. The death wall, the blue and white striped uniform, these aren't just facts, they become visceral experiences.
Preserving memory.
Which brings us to how we visit. With reverence, respect, ensuring it contributes to memory, not morbid curiosity.
Right. Similarly, the Hiroshima Peace Memorial in Japan.
An incredibly sobering reminder of nuclear war's human cost. It's not just history, it's this powerful mix of historical education and an urgent call for peace, for nuclear disarmament.
The Peace Park, the museum, the A-bomb dome.
Each element fosters deep reflection on conflict's consequences, inspires hope for a future without such destruction, forces profound introspection.
And then sites like Alcatraz Island in the U.S., a different flavor of dark tourism.
The Rock. It offers insights into America's criminal justice history, chilling stories of inmates like Capone, but also those stunning views of San Francisco Bay.
So it's dark history mixed with natural beauty.
A uniquely American combination, exploring crime, punishment, the allure of confinement.
And finally, Robben Island in South Africa, Nelson Mandela's prison.
A powerful global symbol of triumph over oppression, of resilience. The profound thing there is that tours are often led by former political prisoners themselves.
Wow. Offering first-hand accounts.
Deeply personal, moving accounts of the struggle against apartheid, the realities of confinement, the eventual victory. These places truly move you, challenge perspectives, deepen understanding of human capacity for both cruelty and courage.
Okay, let's pivot now. Let's talk practicalities.
Yeah.
Navigating these often challenging places, especially with the tools we have today.
Right. And the big revelation here is how AI-powered travel planning is really changing the game for adventurous travel to dangerous destinations.
AI. How does that work for this kind of travel?
I genuinely believe AI integration is one of the biggest safety advances recently. It's moving beyond static guidebooks to dynamic, real-time insights.
What kind of insight?
AI systems can process vast amounts of data, granular political stability reports, real-time conflict maps, hyperlocal weather patterns, intricate local conditions, providing unprecedented situational awareness.
So specific tools.
Yeah, things like real-time security monitoring and alerts warning of developing threats, sophisticated weather prediction for extreme environments, mountains, deserts, dynamic route optimization, recalculating safer paths instantly if needed.
Even cultural sensitivity advice.
Yes. modules offering nuanced advice based on local customs, and robust emergency response coordination, connecting travelers to help quickly. It's a fundamental game changer for safety and decision-making.
That's incredible. Using tech not just for convenience, but critical safety. And it's not just tech, is it? There's this growing sense of responsibility, too. Sustainable tourism.
Even in these controversial spots, yes. There's a profound consciousness growing among travelers about their environmental and social impact, especially in fragile or recovering regions.
So it's more than leave no trace.
Much more. It involves actively supporting local communities using local businesses, local guides, especially in post-conflict areas, rigorously minimizing environmental impact, waste management, conservation guidelines.
Contributing to conservation, maybe? Respecting culture.
Absolutely. Profoundly respecting cultural traditions, understanding you're a guest, and crucially, choosing operators who are genuinely committed to ethical practices, transparent accountability. It's about leaving a positive footprint.
Now, there's this common misconception that all this dangerous travel must be incredibly expensive.
Right, you see pictures of Everest expeditions.
Exactly. But our article challenges that. It highlights how many affordable adrenaline adventures can actually be done on surprisingly modest budgets.
The key is knowing where to invest for safety that's non-negotiable versus where you can make smart savings without compromising security or the experience.
So where are these budget-friendly danger zones?
Eastern Europe has some forgotten corners offering amazing value and unique experiences. Transnistria in Moldova.
The breakaway state.
Yeah, an unrecognized state. It's like a surreal glimpse into Soviet nostalgia, untouched by time. Accommodation under £20 a night. The experience of visiting a country that technically doesn't exist. Incredible value.
Or Kaliningrad, the Russian exclave.
Oh, right. Between Poland and Lithuania. A unique mix of Soviet history, Prussian architecture, Baltic culture. Tourism continues, despite tensions, but you need the right visas and awareness of the politics.
And Central Asia.
For the really experienced, Afghanistan's Wakhan Corridor. Some of the world's most spectacular, pristine mountain scenery. Minimal cost homestays under £10 a night, but, and it's a huge but, requires extensive, meticulous security planning and deep local understanding.
Socotra Island, Yemen. That alien-looking place.
Despite mainland Yemen's conflict, this UNESCO site with its dragons, blood trees, and unique species is accessible via specialized operators. Otherworldly landscapes, amazing biodiversity, for budget-conscious extreme travelers willing to navigate complex logistics.
What about Africa?
Some challenging but surprisingly affordable spots. The Central African Republic, despite instability, adventure tourism is cautiously returning in specific community-based areas. Authentic cultural experiences supporting local development, costs are low due to limited infrastructure.
And the DRC Congo.
Specifically, Eastern DRC's Virunga National Park. Mountain gorilla trekking at a fraction of Rwanda's prices. An extraordinary opportunity. But the security situation needs constant, real-time monitoring and strict adherence to park safety rules.
So adventure doesn't always need a massive bankroll, as long as safety is the absolute priority where it counts.
Exactly, and understanding the context is vital.
Let's talk about solo female travel in these contexts. It's becoming more common, isn't it?
Absolutely. The real revelation is how sophisticated solo female travel safety has become, and women are a rapidly growing percentage of visitors to these traditionally dangerous destinations.
You've seen this firsthand.
Definitely. I've witnessed incredible strength, resourcefulness, determination from female solo travelers in some of the toughest environments. War correspondents in Somalia, adventure photographers in Siberia. Women are redefining what's possible, carving their own paths.
So it's about acknowledging risks, but also mitigating them proactively.
Precisely. While fiercely maintaining that independence that makes solo travel so rewarding.
And our article outlines specific strategies beyond the generic advice.
Yes, crucial gender-specific strategies. First, cultural adaptation. Research local attitudes towards women. Dress appropriately, modesty norms vary wildly. Understand interaction norms between genders. Identify women-only spaces if they exist. Learn key emergency phrases.
And personal security measures.
Heighten situational awareness, maybe even specialized training. Carry multiple IDs, emergency contacts, digital and physical. Use reliable offline GPS trackers. Maintain consistent communication schedules with people back home.
Are there support networks specifically for women doing this?
Yes, they're flourishing. Dedicated female-only travel forums for destination advice from women with first-hand experience. Real-time safety updates aggregated from women on the ground. Emergency contact networks in difficult places.
Mhm.
Even mentorship programs pairing experienced female adventurers with newcomers.
That sounds incredibly valuable. Empowering.
It really is, making these journeys more accessible, safer, and ultimately more empowering for women.
Okay, let's nail down some really practical advice. Starting with something absolutely critical, but often overlooked. Insurance.
Yes, this is huge. Standard travel insurance often explicitly excludes these destinations your mother wouldn't approve of, especially if there are government warnings or extreme activities involved.
So you need specialist policies.
Absolutely. Designed specifically for high-risk travel. And you need to know what to look for.
Key considerations.
Comprehensive medical expenses, often up to £1 million for high-risk places. Emergency evacuation and repatriation that can be life or death.
Political or natural disaster extraction.
Yes, an exit strategy if things go bad suddenly. PTSD assessment and counseling cover recognizing the potential psychological toll. And specific cover for adventure sports if you're doing them.
Are there companies that specialize in this?
There are. Our research flagged high-risk Voyager for places with official warnings, Campbell Irvine for adventure sports, True Traveler for conflict zones, World Nomads for flexible policies. You have to do your homework, read the fine print, make sure it matches your specific trip.
Non-negotiable homework. And beyond, insurance, health, and medical prep.
Paramount. Many of these places need extensive specialized vaccinations, yellow fever, Japanese encephalitis, Hep A/B way beyond a typical holiday jab list, maybe even experimental vaccines or specific prophylactics.
Medigate kit.
Meticulously assembled. Prescription meds with doctor's notes. Water purification is vital. Broad-spectrum antibiotics, antidiarrheals, comprehensive first aid for trauma, altitude sickness meds if relevant, and knowing how to use them.
And you mentioned mental health prep earlier.
Yes, and it bears repeating. It's crucial. The psychological impact of witnessing tragedy, extreme poverty, or facing danger shouldn't be underestimated. Pre-trip psychological prep and even post-trip counseling to process difficult experiences can make the journey truly transformative, not just distressing.
That's a really vital point. Physical and mental readiness. What about communication and tech in these remote or volatile areas?
They become lifelines, not conveniences. Satellite communication devices, Garmin InReach, SPOT are essential backups when mobile networks are down, unreliable, or monitored.
GPS.
GPS devices with robust offline maps. A dedicated handheld or a smartphone app with downloaded maps ensures navigation even without connectivity or if you have surveillance concerns.
And cybersecurity.
Critical in authoritarian states or conflict zones. Use VPNs consistently. Encrypted messaging apps. Avoid storing sensitive data on devices, maybe even use burner phones. Be smart, prepared, safe digitally and physically.
Okay, let's talk ethics. Beyond our own safety, what are our responsibilities when we travel to these sensitive places?
That's a crucial question. Visiting these destinations carries profound ethical responsibilities. We have to critically consider our impact on local communities, the appropriateness of tourism in fragile or traumatized contexts, and our own motivations.
So what does ethical travel look like here?
Ensuring tourism genuinely benefits locals, not exploits them. Choose locally owned businesses, guides. Approaching sites of tragedy with reverence and respect for the history and pain involved.
Considering if our presence causes harm or distress.
Diligently, especially in post-conflict zones. Actively avoiding commodifying or trivializing serious events through inappropriate behavior. And supporting responsible operators committed to ethical, sustainable engagement.
And the ethics of dark tourism specifically. It's debated, right?
Yeah.
Education versus exploitation.
It's a fine line requiring careful navigation, balancing personal curiosity with unwavering respect for victims and survivors, engaging meaningfully with difficult history, rigorously avoiding voyeuristic consumption of suffering.
Are there guidelines for doing dark tourism ethically?
Yes, our article suggests some good ones. Educate yourself thoroughly before visiting. Dress and behave respectfully, somberly. Avoid inappropriate photos, especially selfies at memorials. That's a huge one.
Consider donations to support the site's work.
Yes, thoughtful donations. And take time to reflect on your motivations. Engage critically with your own emotional responses. It's about genuine engagement and remembrance, not ticking a box.
Right, let's look ahead now. The horizon of high-risk exploration. What's changing? What's next? Starting with technology and safety.
The pace of innovation is incredible. Modern extreme adventure travel is constantly incorporating cutting-edge safety tech. Miniature satellite communicators, sophisticated biometric monitoring tracking vital signs.
Examples?
personal locator beacons with two-way messaging, wearables monitoring for altitude sickness or hypothermia, rapid deploy emergency shelters, advanced portable water purification, compact solar-powered comms devices. These aren't just gadgets, they're fundamentally improving safety, making tougher expeditions more feasible as calculated risks.
And virtual reality for prep, that sounds fascinating.
It is. Some operators offer immersive VR experiences. You can familiarize yourself with the terrain, cultural nuances, even practice emergency scenarios before you go. It reduces anxiety, improves situational awareness, like a high-tech dress rehearsal.
Making the real trip safer and more informed. Okay, let's expand the math again. Regional focus. Asia's most controversial spots.
Myanmar offers that stark juxtaposition, ancient temples amid modern turmoil. Post-2021 coup, there's political upheaval, human rights crises, but sites like Bagan still draw intrepid visitors willing to navigate complex security. Requires meticulous planning.
Kashmir. Paradise with checkpoints.
Exactly. Stunning Himalayan landscapes, serene lakes, snowy peaks alongside the reality of ongoing political tensions, military presence. You witness incredible beauty and a long-running dispute simultaneously.
And Mindanao, Philippines.
A paradox. Tropical paradise with security issues. World-class diving, pristine beaches, but also insurgency and kidnapping risks in certain areas. Requires proper security, expert local guidance to access those untouched destinations. Demands adaptable travelers.
What about Africa's emerging extreme destinations?
Central African Republic offers that poignant challenge, wildlife in a war zone. Despite instability, Serrar's parks have some of Africa's last truly untouched wilderness. Professional operators with security expertise can provide access, often supporting conservation.
Libya. Potential future hotspot.
If stability returns, it boasts spectacular Roman ruins, Leptis Magna, Sabratha, among the Med's best-preserved classical sites, currently largely inaccessible due to conflict. Huge potential.
In chat.
Epic Sahara expeditions, vast, untamed desert, ancient rock art in the Inadi Massif, remote oases. But political instability and huge logistical challenges make it one of Africa's most demanding, least visited spots for seasoned desert explorers only.
Closer to home for North Americans. Venezuela.
Incredible natural wonders, Angel Falls, Orinoco Delta, Andes amid a profound national crisis, still attracts adventurers willing to navigate economic collapse, instability, safety concerns.
Honduras. That contrast.
Bay Islands, Roatan, Utila offer world-class Caribbean diving, vibrant culture. Mainland struggles with high crime. That idyllic paradise versus pervasive danger requires complex, careful planning.
And El Salvador. Reopening.
Once deemed too dangerous due to gangs, it's slowly, cautiously reopening as security improves. Offers Pacific surf breaks, volcanic landscapes, Maya heritage for brave early adopters. Shows adventure exists close by, beyond the headlines.
So mastering these journeys, it's about rigorous preparation, isn't it? Not just gear, but personal readiness.
Absolutely. Multifaceted prep. And physical fitness is often non-negotiable. High-altitude trekking, navigating tough terrain under stress. You need to be genuinely fit.
Now fit.
Preparation should start months, maybe a year before. Robust cardio, strength training, especially core and legs for carrying gear, stability, flexibility, balance, stress inoculation training simulating pressure, ideally first aid and wilderness medicine certification. Your body needs to be ready for anything.
And you stressed the mental side earlier. It often exceeds the physical challenge.
Profoundly, yes. Mental prep is crucial, often underestimated. Techniques like consistent meditation, stress management, rigorous cultural sensitivity training, detailed scenario planning for emergencies, mentally rehearsing responses, building emotional resilience, and having post-travel processing strategies for difficult experiences. Prepare the mind as much as the body.
What about when things inevitably go wrong?
Yeah.
Even with the best plans, emergency protocols.
Because they can, and sometimes do. Robust, well-rehearsed emergency protocols are literally the difference between an inconvenience and a catastrophe, or life and death.
Essentials for that planning.
Multiple evacuation routes mapped out, embassy registration completed, accessible emergency funds in multiple currencies, including cash, comprehensive medical evacuation insurance, specifically helicopter coverage for remote areas, clear family communication plans. It's about having layered safety nets.
And for the highest risk trips, maybe involving security professionals.
Strongly advised. Security consultants, former military personnel can provide essential expertise in threat assessment, route planning, personal protection, risk mitigation beyond standard tour operators, bespoke protection and intelligence for when the stakes are highest.
Okay, finally, let's look to the future. What trends are shaping this controversial travel sector?
It's evolving incredibly fast. Technology keeps improving safety, making tougher areas more viable. Geopolitical shifts create new opportunities and challenges constantly. Climate change is a huge factor, creating new extreme destinations as ice melts, while making others more dangerous with extreme weather.
Emerging trends specifically.
Space tourism is the ultimate, perhaps distant frontier. Climate change opening Arctic and Arctic routes, creating urgency, political changes opening previously closed borders, tech advancements making impossible locations safer, and that growing female participation changing the face of exploration.
And you mentioned Coolcations 2025, linked to climate change.
Right. A growing interest in destinations offering adventure and relief from climate change effects. Traditionally cold weather places, maybe seen as too harsh before, become more accessible, appealing, combining alternative, extreme travel with a practical response to a changing world. A fascinating evolution.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into destinations your mother wouldn't approve of, it's been quite a journey, hasn't it? Through some truly profound, challenging, transformative travel experiences.
Definitely not your average holiday discussion.
No, these risky travel destinations, they're more than just places. They really do challenge our comfort zones, confront our preconceptions. They offer insights you just can't get from conventional tourism.
And while those initial fears, the mother's concerns, often come from legitimate safety points.
Modern travel to these places can be remarkably safe, with meticulous prep, professional guidance, respectful attitudes. The key really is understanding that difference between actual calculated risk and just perceived danger.
As you're listening and reflecting on all this, maybe you're thinking, which of these destinations speaks to your sense of adventure?
Hmm,
What's the riskiest place on your personal bucket list? And what is it really that draws you to places that challenge conventional travel wisdom?
good questions to ponder.
We encourage you to reflect on your own motivations and consider the meaningful adventures often found maybe unexpectedly in those spaces between comfort and chaos.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Urban Herald for this really compelling deep dive. We hope it's given you some new perspectives, maybe cleared up some myths, perhaps even sparked an idea for your next, slightly less conventional adventure.
Check out more of our features and analyses on our platform.
Until next time, stay curious, stay insightful, and keep exploring the extraordinary.
From the Urban Herald team, goodbye.